from as young as I can remember. My uncle would always try to get me, somewhere alone and, touch me and kiss me and just grope me inappropriately. And he would be so bold as we were having a formal dinner, to reach under the table and try to get in my clothes. It wasn't until really 30 years later that I had this point in my life where I just was sitting on the couch and I all of a sudden didn't want to be in my marriage anymore, and my husband's the best. There's no reason for that. I had a great job. I was vice president at a company that I'd worked so hard to get where I'd gotten. We had a 6-bedroom, beautiful home. I had everything I could ever want, and I was at that point miserable. Some days, my husband might just give me a kiss goodnight, and suddenly my heart starts to pound. My head starts to throb, and I feel very afraid. And a lot of people think that flashbacks are just memories that you might recall, maybe see a picture. But really what it is a re-experiencing of what happened. And so what will flash before my eyes is my uncle's presence there, a big presence on top of me. And it's completely unrealistic, but the feelings that I have are exactly like I'm this small child, that he's there, that I have no control, that I can't protect myself. And I was saying to myself, I know I feel this way, but I don't understand why. And that's the first time that I sought help. I went and saw a therapist, and we had a couple of sessions, and a few sessions in, she said, let's talk about your childhood. And I explained what a wonderful family I had, great parents, and we kind of eventually dove into, well, is there anything that really bothers you about your childhood? And I kind of just sort of nonchalantly said, well, my uncle used to do things to me when I was a child that, And she said, well, we'll need to work on that. Just because you have PTSD does not mean that you're crazy. And in fact, somebody who's been diagnosed with something has stepped up and said, I have these issues, I want help for these issues, and it's actually very treatable. I still have many episodes where I'll have, a flashback or a panic attack, but it's so controllable, and I know it's going to pass. So, and I know that it's the therapy and the medication and the cognitive behavioral work that I've done that's helped me get past that. It's a whole new way of thinking. What I wanted to show people was you can be a normal, thriving person and have mental health issues, get help for those and acknowledge those and still be okay. I was unable to envision that I would ever arrive at a point where I wasn't constantly thinking about what happened, or constantly having flashbacks, or constantly trying to shoo away those bad feelings. I can sit here today and say that, I have weeks go by where I don't think about it. And weeks is huge.